Hey everybody, Mike Miller, Herald Times, coming to you from Rutgers here at the Rutgers Athletic Center, the RAC as they call it. Basically, a glorified Indiana high school gym. That's what it always reminds me of, anyway. It's actually, I swear to God, it honestly reminds me of the gym up in Richmond. What is that? I think it's the North Central Conference or something. One of those big old gyms you find up there. We're really all around the state. I think it only seats about 8,000, so it would fit right in on any Indiana high school campus. But anyway, this was the site of a 79-72 Indiana victory over Rutgers today, Wednesday afternoon. A little bit of a matinee game to open up the Big Ten schedule here on the East Coast. Very pro-IU crowd, as you might expect. It was only an announced attendance of about 6,002 actually, to be exact. But it was probably at least 60-40 IU fans, maybe 70-30. There was a lot. It was a very vocal IU fan section here. And yeah, it was a very busy day. It started actually with some football news that Darius Latham was declaring for the NFL draft in a very surprising move. We'll have more on that later. But also, there was some pregame news for Indiana, which was without James Blackman Jr. today. He injured his knee, his right knee, in a practice Monday evening in Bloomington. Really, Indiana had one practice last night without him, came out and played today without him, and you could tell that in some avenues they were certainly missing his presence alone on the floor. Regarding his injury, however, it's really not sure of a timetable right now, and not even sure Tom Crean really knows. It just kind of happened. They're going to head back to Bloomington for a day or two to have him evaluated, and then they're going to swing out to Nebraska for that game on Saturday afternoon. It is his right knee, which should be good news, I suppose. It was not the same left knee that he had meniscus surgery on over the summer. That left knee was also the one he injured in high school, too. So that left knee's had a lot of work done to it, and now this right knee apparently is going to require some further medical attention. We'll see just how severe and how long he'll be out. We'll probably know maybe more by Saturday when we see the team in Nebraska. But this is an IU team that could be without James Blackman for at least a week or two, it appears. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. But yeah, as I mentioned, they could certainly use him today. Early on, well, really all game pretty much. This was a game Indiana had to sweat out against a Rutgers team again that is not very well regarded. I think they were the only Big Ten team to enter conference play today with a losing record. What are they now? 6-8. So this is not a very good, very polished, very experienced, very big. There are a lot of things they're not. That's who Rutgers is. And this was a game. It might have been Indiana's sloppiest game of the year. To kind of harken back to some of those games we saw in Maui, where there were turnover issues, really just a whole lot of issues that kind of stemmed from the turnovers. And once again, there were turnovers from really Indiana's core experienced guys, Yogi Ferrell, Troy Williams, and actually Robert Johnson, too. Robert Johnson's played tremendous basketball for Indiana over the last couple of weeks, really the last month or so. But this was probably his worst game of the season. I think he was scoreless on 6 shots with 5 turnovers. Johnson, Williams, and Farrell combined for 18 turnovers today, so not at all a pretty performance. Really, the three-point shots weren't there for Indiana, kind of the bread-and-butter shots. Occasionally they were just missed shots that Indiana was missing. Other times that they tried to get to the rim, didn't have a whole lot of success. But the three-point shooting did seem to open up in the second half, and actually it was kind of spurred by some of the bench guys. Max Bielfeldt had his best game as a Hoosier. What do you have? 18 points, tied a career high, 14 rebounds, new career high. Actually, his previous career high was against Rutgers last year. 2 games last year against Rutgers, I think he had something like 22 points and 19 rebounds. So it was 11 points, 9.5 rebounds average between those 2 games. So he's had success against Rutgers. He's had success in this building before. And for Bielfeldt, it was more of the same. And that was especially important because of Thomas Bryant's limited availability today. Not an injury for Bryant, but this was more due to foul trouble. Had 3 early fouls, 3 fouls by I think the 8 or 9 minute mark in that first half. So he actually only played about 6 total minutes, finished with 3 points, really a non-factor all day. So having Bielfeldt kind of step in to that low post role against an undersized Rutgers team was absolutely huge. But Indiana also got very big bench production today. from OG Anunoby and Ryan Burton. Ryan Burton, I think, has had 3 baskets all year long. They're all three-pointers. He had 2 baskets today. They were both three-pointers, and they both came at very big moments for Indiana. Rutgers tied this game at 34-34 at halftime, and actually took, I think, a 43 or 44-43 lead about 4 minutes into the second half, and then IU just went on in a 11-0 run, and it was really spurred by 3 straight three-pointers. Bielefeld hit one, Farrell hit one, and then Burton had one of his too. So really Ryan Burton's threes came at 2 very big moments that came during that 11-0 run. And he also had one later in the second half when Rutgers was still kind of hanging around. Really, Rutgers was hanging around all day, and this really could have flipped in another direction, frankly, if they had hit some of their easy, open layups under the basket. I mean, they had probably 14, 15, maybe 20 points left on the floor today just from the simple fact that they didn't hit their layups. It was something that Eddie Jordan pointed out post-game, saying that it could have been a different result had they just hit some of those easy shots. Most troubling for Indiana is the fact that they were getting those open shots, really just getting to the basket on that dribble penetration, like a lot of teams have done this season. The good news is Rutgers just didn't make the shots. So sweated out a win. It was a win nonetheless. From here, we're headed to Nebraska, IU, and the Huskers on Saturday afternoon in beautiful, beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm going to try to beat traffic. It's still early. Touch on anything else? 23 turnovers. I don't think I gave you the number. 23 total turnovers. 37 points off those turnovers. So, yeah, pretty sloppy, but again, they'll take it. It's a win. Big Ten opener. Got out of here with the big W. So, from the misplaced Indiana high school gym, I guess there are 2 Indiana high school gyms in this Big Ten now. That's Rutgers and Northwestern. Both have gyms that would fit in basically on any high school campus in the state of Indiana. Checking out from the Rutgers Athletic Center, the RAC. Mike Miller, Herald Times. See you all in Nebraska.